So the first problem you're going to show the kids when you're teaching them how to do fractions on a number line is you're going to show them how to find equivalent fractions for 1/4. So you want to start off with 1/4, or divide your number line up into fourths. Try to get it spaced out as evenly as you can. Talk about the denominator and the size of the pieces, and you want to talk about how 4/4 is really a whole. Now you want to tell the kids, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to add some little hashtags here because I want to divide it up into eighths. So I have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. Okay, so I've got 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and then 8/8. And then you want to circle the ones that have an equivalent fraction, and you want to talk to the kids about 1/4 and 2/8 are really the same thing. 2/4 and 4/8 are really the same thing. 3/4 and 6/8. And you want to go back to the lesson yesterday and talk to the kids about when we were doing the cubes and say, you remember how when we found the cubes, some of the pieces, there were more pieces, but they still measured up to be about the same size, and kind of go back and refer back to that lesson. That these are, that even though these have different names, they're still the same fraction. They're still 1/4. Or 2/4 or 3/4 or 4/4. Okay, then the next problem that you're going to do that the kids are going to help you with is you're going to divide it up into thirds. So you'll have 1/3, 2/3, and then 3/3. And you're going to tell the kids, now I'm going to divide it up into 6 pieces. So I'll have 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6. I have to check and make sure I'm doing it right. 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, and 6, 6. And then again, you and the kids will circle the ones that are equivalent. And so they will see that 1/3 and 2/4, actually that looks like 24, that 1/3 and 2/4, 1/3 and 2/6 are equivalent fractions. They are the same. 2/3 and 4/6 are the same. They are equivalent fractions. Now, you also want to ask the students to look at these two number lines. So you want to keep this one on the board when you do this one because you want them to be able to compare. And so what do you notice about the denominators on both of these problems? What do you notice I did with the denominators? And you want to lead them to the part where they say, oh, it's doubled. Because then you want to lead to them and say it's doubled, or I multiplied the denominator times 2. Because you want them to go ahead and show them and say, look, if I do 1/4 times 2 halves, I get 2/8, which is the same as this. Or you could say if I take 2/3 and multiply it times 2 halves, I get 4/6, which is the same as this. And you want to just talk to them about how when you multiply, 2/2 is a whole number, and whenever you multiply a fraction times a whole number, you're going to get its equivalent fraction. And that's all you want to say today, because on Monday we'll go into it in further detail and we'll look at all kinds of different sets of numbers that they can multiply times a whole number to get an equivalent fraction, because you don't want them just to think that it's 2/2, that you want to know that you can also do 3/3 or 4/4 or 5/5. And then eventually we'll come back and revisit this when we get to division. I haven't really decided if we'll do the division part 2, but this kind of just shows you how you will do your lesson on Friday.